Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Armstrong.
Hi, I'm Dr. Emmeline Watt, and welcome to the Magic Mirror.
The last time we were together, we talked about our thoughts and how they can affect our feelings and change our mood. How good thoughts can make us feel pretty good and often put us in a good mood.
Did you notice that too? That when you're thinking about something nice or helpful, you just feel good.
Do you remember the story we heard in the last episode about the crown of good thoughts? Matthew would have bad thoughts about his abilities as a runner, and so he always came last in the sprint races in gym class. He never did well in a race because he just kept telling himself he was no good and that he was just going to lose and feel bad.
That's what unhelpful or stinky thoughts can do to you. They can really discourage you from trying things.
Stinky thoughts can really put you in a bad mood. And more than that, when you do try hard at something, stinky thoughts can really slow you down, just like they did for Matthew.
Stinky thoughts often prevent you from doing your best.
Yeah, remember when Matthew discovered that beautiful crown in the forest, and when he put it on his head, he had so many good thoughts and feelings.
He thought about all the things that he was grateful for, like all the special people in his life that loved him. The crown showed him all sorts of positive thoughts, like caring for others, forgiveness, and generosity. The kind of thoughts that actually make you feel good.
And most importantly, Matthew learned that keeping good, positive thoughts in his mind helped him turn around those stinky thoughts that told him he wasn't good enough to be a runner.
The crown of good thoughts showed Matthew that he could question those stinky thoughts by saying to those thoughts, "I don't believe you. You are not true. I can be a good runner or anything else I'd like to do, but I have to keep trying and not be discouraged."
In the last episode, we all learned how to question our thoughts by becoming a thought detective. Have you been trying to learn how to be a thought detective?
I'm gonna be a thought detective, 'cause I feel the way I think. I'm gonna be a thought detective, looking for those thoughts that sting. Those thoughts that sting. Those thoughts that stink. Those thoughts that stink. Those thoughts that stink.
It's not hard to be a thought detective. All you have to do is start to question the thoughts as they jump into your mind. Sort them out. Figure out which thoughts are making you unhappy, or which thoughts are making you feel not so good about yourself or others.
Today, let's talk about the thoughts which create the kind of feeling that makes us not want to do certain things. We have a big word for that. It's called avoidance.
Avoidance means you avoid, or you stay away from certain people or certain things. Avoidance means you don't try certain things, because maybe a stinky thought is telling you not to try something.
Or maybe you have an uncomfortable, or fearful, or even a painful feeling about doing certain things. And so you avoid doing those things, so you can avoid the bad feeling that comes from doing them.
Now, some things are good to avoid, like if something is unsafe or dangerous. But other things you don't want to avoid, like going to school or finishing your homework or making friends or trying a new activity that would be nice to learn.
There are so many wonderful things that you want to experience in your life, and no stinky thought should prevent you from doing them, right?
What kinds of things do you avoid?
I'm here at the school of my friend Aaron. He was just about to tell me about his experience avoiding something. It happened a few years ago. Aaron found himself avoiding school. Not because it was too hard or because he didn't like learning, but he was afraid of something. Aaron, why don't you tell us your story?
At recess, these two older boys would start kicking the soccer ball at me. It seemed like every day at recess they would try to hit me with the soccer ball. They were older, so I didn't say anything and I just tried to get away from them. Sometimes I would even hide out in the washroom at recess. I decided I didn't want to go to school anymore. And so I pretended to be sick and told my mom I should stay home.
I bet your fear came from certain thoughts you were having about those older boys who were bothering you. Can you remember what your thoughts were?
I thought that they were after me, that they wanted to hurt me.
I can certainly see why you were having those thoughts. Did it turn out that either of those thoughts were real?
I returned to school after a few days and those older kids had forgotten about me and were kicking the ball at some other kids. So I guess they weren't really after me. They were just picking on anyone that was around them.
And what about the other thought that led to your fear? The thought that the older kids were going to hurt you. Did the soccer ball hurt when they kicked it at you?
I thought it did at first. At least that's how I remembered it. But I guess when I thought about it, the ball didn't actually hurt. I guess because I thought those older kids were being mean to me, it felt like the ball hurt more than it actually did.
Yes, thoughts are like that. We have to really question our thoughts because we can't always trust them. And when our thoughts sometimes exaggerate the facts, we can have strong feelings that cause us to do things that may not be helpful for us. Avoiding school is one of the things that is not helpful for us.
Yeah, when I came back to school after a few days, it seemed like I had missed a lot of lessons. Avoiding school wasn't the right thing to do. School was not bothering me. It was my fear of those two older kids.
Did those kids bother you again?
No, they didn't bother me again. A teacher saw them kicking a ball at one of the other kids and they got attention. They didn't bother anyone ever again. Now that I'm a little older, I know those kids now. We play soccer together on one of the city's teams. They're not really bad kids. They just like to act tough sometimes in the schoolyard.
Aaron, I'm really proud of you for the way you figured out this problem. And I'm so glad you didn't miss school again. I have a little exercise that we can do together the next time that you find yourself avoiding something. Here are the 3 steps. First, we ask our heart. We try to figure out what feelings we're having. We often sense strong feelings in our heart. It beats a little faster when we're feeling upset or afraid, like what you were feeling, Aaron. Second, we ask our thoughts. We try to figure out what kinds of thoughts have led to our feelings. Aaron, you were thinking that those older kids were after you, that they were trying to hurt you. You probably had those thoughts all day long, didn't you?
Yes, I couldn't stop thinking about it.
I bet the more you listened to your thoughts about those kids, the more fearful you got.
Yes, my fear got bigger and bigger.
But when you and I questioned those thoughts, we discovered that the facts just weren't quite true. While those 2 older kids were being mean and bothersome, we came to realize that they didn't really mean to hurt you, and that there was no real danger. So you can question your thoughts in the future, and often your feelings will become less strong, and that can help you feel a little better about what's bothering you. Once we know our feelings, and we question our thoughts that have made us feel this way, then we come to step 3. In the 3rd step, we hold up our thumbs and ask ourselves, will my behavior and choices help me? Will they make me feel better? Or will my behavior and choices, like avoiding school, make me feel worse?
Avoiding school was a thumbs down for me.
Do you know what choices you could have made rather than avoiding school?
I guess if I really thought I would be hurt by those boys, I could tell a teacher or the school principal. Or I could have talked to my parents about my fear instead of pretending to be sick. Or maybe if I had the courage to face older kids, I could tell them to stop kicking the ball at me. I can do that now that I'm a little older. But it's not always that easy to tell people when they're saying or doing things that you don't like.
You know, these are difficult situations that we all face throughout our whole life, of people not being nice to us. In life, people may treat us in a way that seems unfair, or that we weren't expecting, or people may treat us in a way that seems hurtful to us.
Even when we're all grown up, we will still have to be around people who may sometimes be mean to us, or who may disappoint us, or who just don't understand us. And we have to learn what to do when this happens. It's not easy, but it's important for us to not take everything that other people say and do personally. But if someone's trying to hurt us on purpose, or if they're bullying us continuously, just know it's not your fault, no matter what others say. And it's really important to immediately tell your parents or teachers if this is happening to you. The more we avoid things, especially the things we're afraid of, the harder it is to face our fears. Avoidance makes our fears grow bigger.
And when you notice you're avoiding something like not going to school or not doing something that you used to enjoy doing because of bad thoughts or fear or thoughts of not being good enough, it's important to talk to somebody.
Avoidance is the subject of today's song. It's called No School Today. It's about avoiding school and pretending that you're sick.
Let's look into the magic mirror and we can all sing along together.
Not going to school today. Gonna say I'm sick today. Pretend I've a runny nose. Maybe aching in my toes. I'm afraid of other stares and wicked bullies' glares. Just gonna go back to bed. No, no, no. Not going to school today. Send a school bus on its way. My fever's here to stay. Cough, cough, achoo, scratch, scratch. Not going to school today. My fears won't go away. In my bed I'm gonna stay. Cough, cough, achoo, bless me. Not going to school today. Gonna say I'm sick today. Pretend I've a runny nose. Maybe aching in my toes. I'm afraid that I might lose. I'm afraid of the math test too. Just gonna go back to bed. No, no, no. Not going to school today. Send a school bus on its way. My fever's here to stay. Cough, cough, achoo, scratch, scratch. Not going to school today. My fears won't go away. In my bed I'm gonna stay. Cough, cough, achoo, bless me. Not going to school today. Gonna say I'm sick today. Pretend I've a runny nose. Maybe aching in my toes. Oh, you say it's a holiday?